And welcome back for this first weekend stream. And we are actually Friday today, so it's not even the weekend yet, except well for Asia because of the time zone. But anyway, you are in the first match of this round of 16. This is bumk versus MemeBen, seed 21 versus seed 31, and I'm not alone here in the commentary booth. I'm with none other than Nightcore. Hello, Nightcore. How are you doing?
Hello, Bogdan. Good to have you for the first match of this weekend. Well, not technically weekend because it's Friday, but still good to have you for the first match of this round. So we're going to be having our first. So this is just going to be, I'm pretty sure, our first loser bracket match. And you know, if you're playing in loser bracket, it's a bit different compared to the first two rounds or the winners bracket. Instead, you will be playing in. So you'll be playing in conditionals. So in order to get through to the next round, you have to play 2 matches instead of 1 for the weekend. So this is what's happening right now. Whoever wins this, they will have 1 more match over the weekend. So we will be seeing one of these players move on, while one of the other players we'll unfortunately have to say goodbye to.
Indeed. So I hope for the players who needed to reschedule their matches, especially the conditionals, did so, because I hope we don't get any no-shows in this match. That will be the worst thing to have in this weekend.
Totally. The worst thing is just forgetting you do have a match and then, you know, just no-show. It's over before you even get into the lobby.
Indeed. Well, we do actually have a warm-up here. 300 nuts per minute. That is a lot of nuts.
Do you guys treasure your nuts?
Very interesting song. So I don't know if this is going to be our first or second warm-up. Just judging by the time, I would probably assume this might be our second. Well, actually, maybe first. Oh no, never mind. It is our second. So we're just getting to the rolls, and MemeBen actually rolling a 63 twice. That is.
I think this is the client. I think this is the chat, which shows us. I think it's just so that he can sync up. I think he actually did the roll once. I think it's just the client.
Okay. So it does look like MemeBen is going to win the roll. So he does get the. First protect. So as we are looking from stats from, I'd say, round of 64, as I do know MemeBen did not play for round of 16, I would assume he'd be going for more of the Rice picks, as in his stat sheet he was definitely more prominent in the Rice. We could potentially see a Rice versus Stella matchup in this, also by looking at bunk scores, having definitely in the top half of the lens, while MemeBen is more down the bottom half, just seeing from stats. And oh my god, MemeBen is going for Rice 6 protect. That is very interesting.
Indeed, while bumk is actually going to protect Helen 1.
Yep, fairly reasonable protect, just judging off by them. So Rice 6 definitely as well, very nice. Probably wise protect from MemeBen, being more I would arguably say kind of more fairly the physical player. You know, round 16 we definitely have a big difficulty increase compared to round of 32. You know, we've seen the first shows the goodbyes to the players, so you know, definitely a bit more of a step up.
Indeed, the Mapul has a really big step up in difficulty this time, especially when I see Rice 1, which is AO Infinity. I'm like, okay, we are on an all other level of Mapul difficulty here.
You would be correct. So, finishing off now with the bans, Bunk does decide to ban Rice 2, our kind of broken jump stream pick, and MemeBen going for the LN3 density ban. So we will not be seeing those 2 maps being played. And it does look like MemeBen is jumping straight in, just hopping straight into Rice just to kick things off. Rice 3 is going to be our tech pick. well, one of our tech picks. We do have around 2 tech picks, maybe 3, if you do count Broken Jump Stream as one.
Indeed. I mean, broken jump streams can be considered technical because an aspect of technical pattern means it's not only the burst, the traces, the mini jacks, it's also the fact that it's not straightforward, you know? So even just having breaks, even if the patterns are straightforward, this can be considered technical.
Yep. So fairly light, I won't say light map to start off with, but judging it by kind of being 2 minutes 10 seconds and kind of an average BPM compared to everything else. It's fairly light to start off, which I wouldn't be surprised. So coming in from the intro, really, it's just going to be extremely light. Both players still kind of pull around the fair accuracy department. MemeBen does get the slight accuracy advantage at the intro, but kicking into the first quarter, we're going to see a lot more jacks, jump streams, a lot of mixed rice, arguably, I would say. It's just going to be mostly trilly and midi jacky, as we do see someone right there. Bumk actually climbing their accuracy a bit back up as well, back to kind of rivaling MemeBen.
And MemeBen actually getting the first drop here, but he does still have the accuracy advantage, but considering that he does get the miss, the lead actually goes back to bumk here. Maybe missed on a jack, considering these are 160 VTM, this is quite fast. You can easily miss on them if you're not concerned, if you're not focused enough.
Both these players have been very consistent for the map. Just a few 200s being broken. I do think MemeBen did drop one there at one of those rolls. But when we're kind of looking more at this map, this half is definitely a lot more staircase oriented. A couple of trills as well being seen there, with mini jacks fairly accompanying it. Got those 2-note trills there. I would say kind of jump trill-ish, but not too exactly.
While, I mean, this can be considered a semi-jump stream, like on one hand you do hit with both fingers, but on the other you hit only with one. So I don't know what we can call this, but maybe a semi-jump trill, something like that.
Yep, and it does look like we actually are going to be getting a breakpoint for Bump here. It was really just that miss that was fairly detrimental for MemeBen, but just showing how Bump can kind of hold up in some of the rice might be a small red flag for MemeBen, especially if your opponent can keep up with something that you're fairly strong at. But it was fairly close near the end. I do believe Bump did drop a good few 200s near the outro on one of those world bursts. But still very good scores from both players, and definitely a very good start to see this interesting match.
Indeed, it is quite unfortunate for MemeBen, actually, this miss on the map, but I mean, the miss happened and we can only go forward from there, so we actually are gonna see LN2, which is Foolish Hero.
Yep, Bump isn't really going to be taking... Sorry. Bump isn't really going to be taking anything else, really. Jumping straight into LN. Fairly expected from more of an LN prominent player. And fairly interesting pick to start off with. I do believe this is kind of more wildcard-ish for our LN2. And actually kind of a small fun fact about this map. This was in soft group stage a small bit back. I'd say a few years back. So
Indeed.
Very interesting to see the skill of 5 digits increase at that point, where soft is still a very tough tournament.
Indeed. Though we didn't see any soft tournament in a long time. Like last one was the 6th one, and it was like 2 years ago or so.
You'd be correct. Bumk finding a couple of 200s near the intro. Again about this map, it's not really too hard to kind of combo. The releases are still very simple, but you kind of do have that density slightly thrown in. So it would probably be fairly common to see a lot of players be getting, you know, low 99s, even some 98 FCs. But as long as you can still keep that combo, you should be fairly alright. MemeBen actually kind of finding a couple of misjudgments near some of those releases. Gotta watch out for some of those releases.
And it does look like in some sections, MemeBen does look like to be racing a bit late. Like here you can see on the UR bar, unstable rate here on MemeBen's side.
You will be correct. And bumk actually climbing back up, I do believe. And now here we go, getting the build up right before the last quarter. I do believe there's some shields near the ending as well, which you kind of do gotta watch out for. But just seeing how both players were managing to kind of play, you know, some of the jacks in their last pick, I would assume they'd be fairly more comfortable with it. Bumk climbing up there actually a lot higher now, up to that almost a 9.5 mark as well. Really good comeback from what we've seen since the start.
Indeed.
And there we go. With a hefty 19k lead, bumk is going to be getting that really good advantage on that, getting only 8 200s. Despite MemeBen having the less 300k, it's just really just going to be that PA that's going to hinders the comparison.
Indeed, the ratios are actually very close here. And indeed, this is only the 200 counts here. So I think MemeBen does have the rise accuracy advantage, while the PK it's actually more the Reese, the Ellen Reese part advantage on the accuracy side. So we are going in instant emission, which is, I don't remember which rise it is, rise 4.
Yep, bumk. Just wondering what the song is. Please tell me you're not sight reading this. That wouldn't be too well.
I hope no one does sight read this, because I recall back in 2023 this map was in a Mania French tournament, a tournament which I played. I was in a match against someone else. I did have the accuracy advantage, but the thing is that actually I think I played the map only once, and I actually forgot the mini jacks, and I got like 5 misses on them because I was not even like warmed enough, so I just get misses on those jacks and didn't make it to get the point because of those misses. So I hope those players do not sight read the map.
I would say this is one of our toughest race maps. So it's going to be interesting to see how both players do play this. It is very flam heavy, kind of accompanied by some jump trills. This is going to be more of a consistency tech. See how well you're kind of used to some of these patterns for 2 minutes. However, I would say that kind of the music tied to this is fairly simple. It's just you kind of have to be getting used to sort of weird snappings, really.
Indeed. This map is really not the most physical here, but most of the harder ones, especially on the consistency side. Like, it's not hard to be able to play the map, but to get an FC, and especially to FC hit every time, especially for this level of playing, this is really hard.
It's definitely. The thing is, this map is very consistent for what it is. There isn't too much difficulty spikes, besides I do think there's kind of a weird split for at the end. However, it's just keeping up for 2 minutes, and especially at OD 8.5, this OD is definitely a lot higher to what we've seen for the other bits of the pool. Usually you see OD 7, maybe sometimes OD 6. I do believe bumk did drop a couple of 200s a bit earlier, which did hinder the act a small bit. But MemeBen is holding on very consistently with that 99.5. Could potentially be up to that 99.6 if everything goes smoothly. But with not much map left, I don't think there's going to be too much differences. Both players hitting that burst very well at the end. Bumk did drop a few 200s there, but even then I don't think it would have mattered either way.
That is a really clean score from MemeBen here, especially on OD 8.9. The difference of accuracy due to that OD is quite big. A really good score again from MemeBen.
Very solid score from both players, actually. Still holding on to that full combo on one of our most awkward maps.
Indeed,
MemeBen said he was.
I did expect at least one of the two players to at least get one miss, but no, they both FC'd. I'm actually quite impressed by that. Though bumk not with the greatest accuracy, but still an FC.
Yep. MemeBen's score is definitely going to be near enough the top. So now bumk is hopping straight into their protect, which is going to be our coordination pick.
Indeed, one coordination pick.
And can I just say, what a step up this is compared to our round of 32. This is definitely a lot more heavy on some more of the releases. So if you're just not careful, at the blink of an eye, you could accidentally release too late, or maybe just miss an LN, and your combo will be gone. Even at OD6.
I think this is a really great pick for bumk.
I would agree a lot. Getting, I do believe, somewhere near second last week on our LN pick. Not too sure about MemeBen. I do believe from the qualifier stats, he was more in the lower half of the LNs, which would kind of make sense why he would choose to ban our LN free pick. However, that's what I kind of find a bit interesting. If you're not really too confident with more the release side, I feel like maybe the LN density picks will be a lot easier. And bumk actually finding a drop near the start, which is not really going to be, I won't say too detrimental since it's near the intro.
Indeed, though, if MemeBen does FC, this still can be very dangerous. And as I say that, he does trade the miss back. So the lead is gonna go back to bumk here.
Okay, here we go. This map is just release heavy, really. Coming into the first course, you can already see it. We have seen some from the intro already, where we do have a coordination near inverse. Actually, Ben finding a drop on one of those bursts, climbing back down. Unfortunately, underneath that 99 mark, having a whole accuracy higher bumk does have, and really nailing those releases as well. MemeBen actually isn't really doing too bad on those releases as well. It's just finding a lot the 200s for their liking.
Indeed, even though it's only OD6, this is quite lenient, even for this kind of map. But yeah, still, bumk holding those, releasing those lanes really well, almost at the 99.7% mark. This is really impressive from him.
Definitely. So here we are into the second half, near 36k difference as well. We could potentially see 990 from bumk as well if they do climb up to that 99.7. However, near the second half, we do have some of these awkward inverse patterns and some LN split frills, I do believe, which Ben does find 3 drops on, 4 even. Ben struggling to keep combo on some of these weird LN trills, which bumk is just flying through these. There's definitely a difference in coordination ability between these two players, and it shows.
Really a coordination difference, and maybe to look out for improvement, maybe for MemeBen after this tournament.
There's always a bigger fish, that's what I will say. But 981k on a pick like this is extremely impressive. Almost getting that clean FC as well, but somehow dropping a 50. I wasn't really aware of that 50, so I do not know where it is. MemeBen as well, not
Wasn't
doing
that
too bad as well.
at the beginning of the map, that break?
Oh yeah, you would be right. It would be near the start, I do believe. Oh yeah, that was a drop. Actually, not getting that full combo. I forgot about that. All right, here we go. MemeBen jumping into Rice 1. Our pretty much all jump stream pick. You know this map. I know this map. Everyone probably knows this map. One of the most popular rank maps and most memorizable maps, AO Infinity.
Indeed, a really, really popular map, which is AO Infinity. A lot of players know this map. I don't even know how much plays this map set does have, but it's a lot.
Definitely one of the more popular maps for any player just to play. If you just want a jump stream map to kind of play at all, it's just pure jump stream with some trills accompanying it. It is as simple as it gets, but really fun map.
Indeed, though be careful indeed of the split trees. They can catch you up if you're not careful. So it's not fully autopilotable, but still quite a straightforward map.
You're just always going to have to be on your toes during this map, pretty much. Nothing really to see for the intro.
Indeed. Nothing really dangerous here.
It doesn't.
This is true.
It doesn't really kick off until I'd say a few more seconds in. So the first 100 notes is just kind of the build-up combo. And here we go. We start seeing our first few rolls, and we will be seeing more of the jump stream when we get in there in around 2 seconds. And here we go. You can see now that there is kind of more of a rhythm to it. I mean, it is a rhythm game, but and here we go.
Indeed, here we go for the KA of the map.
Yep. Maybe we could potentially see maybe a V1 though less from either player, because they're holding on exceptionally well for both these. I actually do think MemeBen did drop the 200, but the accuracy is very similar, and there is still most of the map left. So we do get through the first drop, where we won't really be seeing those trills, but it's still going to be some of the jump stream to keep players on their toes. bumk actually dropping a few 200s as well, which is going to swing the lead back to MemeBen.
Indeed. Though I think this is unlikely that we see V1 double S in this map. Maybe except for the top players of this tournament, like the higher CD. But still, we'll see how it goes. Especially for these two players.
But see, what I'm kind of curious about is players around the mid-seed department are going to be able to get, like, if they're going to be around getting 99 FCs like MemeBen here, almost at 990k range, you could just imagine, like, if top seed players could be getting that, maybe even 99.8 or higher. I do think some players do have the capability for that, and we're going to be jumping straight back into it soon. I do feel like this bit is a bit more kind of jump stream bursty before we jump into pure jump stream again, as we do see some of those free no hands as well, kind of to break off a few, kind of to break off a small bit as well.
Indeed, wait, both players are actually still FCing the map.
Yeah, I have actually just realized that. And here you are. The last pure jump stream part is gonna be the same near the start, which is definitely just makes this more of a consistency pick, really. And as we do get into our kind of last part, MemeBen I do think dropped a slight bit of accuracy, actually dropping a few early 200s there, but I don't think it's going to make a difference, as I do think bumk did trade some of those 200s back, and as long as none of these players do kind of have an unfortunate ending. It does look like MemeBen is going to be snagging back onto that second point, only being a break point behind as well.
Indeed, both players actually been really consistent throughout this match. Like, I think we've only seen like 1 or 2 misses. I mean, except for MemeBen during LN1, but apart from that, we didn't see any of a lot of misses during this match.
Yeah, actually a very minimal difference from both players. Only 6 200s and 90 300 difference. MemeBen is not messing around when it does come to Rice. Definitely showing why they got near high seeds in the Rice. But then again, bumk kind of showing why they got high seeds as well, the LN. So bumk trying to. So the question is, now all the LNs are exhausted. So what does that give bumk the opportunity to pick?
Well, I think
So,
we're gonna start to get
um,
into the hybrids.
I would agree with you in that. So, kind of, I'd say more of the. I'd say something like maybe Hybrid 2, kind of to test MemeBen's accuracy on.
Indeed.
Or Hybrid 1. Hybrid 1 is going to be the one picked.
Indeed.
Which. This is going to be our technical hybrid. You know who. Pretty fair enough stuff from Gooden.
Indeed.
Fairly short
Also,
map though.
a fairly popular ranked map set as well. I mean, I personally
you
know
will be.
the map set, but yeah.
You would be correct in saying that. It is ranked as well. We're not playing top diff though. I do believe that's somewhere around the 4-star department. So we're not quite there yet for hybrids, but we could be there soon. But I don't think we'll be seeing this map. I don't think we'll be seeing this map again after this round.
Yeah, indeed. I don't think we're gonna see it.
This is definitely. It's definitely more of a transitioning map where it would be something kind of like Rice Free, I would say, as we've seen earlier. So it is fairly wise for bumk to pick this, especially that they did win on the technical pick earlier. And you know how they do kind of have the advantage on LNs, as we have seen as well. So this pick will probably most likely go in their favor. MemeBen dropping on 100 actually there in the intro, which kind of got to watch out for some of those punches on the shorter lands.
Indeed, MemeBen actually dropping quite early on. So this is only the beginning of this map. We have the opportunity to climb back up to the accuracy.
Yep. Again, this is only the first quarter, making kind of that comeback on. Again, it's not too LN heavy after the intro. It's just more, I would say, kind of 50-50 split on this. But it is kind of more scattered releases as we are seeing there. But at only 7, you know, there's a bit of room for error. So, it's just more about kind of keeping combo, I'd say, at this point.
Though OT7, it's still quite tough to release those ends, especially for their skill level compared to the dedicated ends of this pool, which is why hybrids can actually be quite dangerous for Rice-oriented player, because ODs are often higher than in the dedicated end maps of the pool.
Yep. So we are kind of getting into the last quarter. We're going to be seeing a lot more technical, and we're going to be seeing a lot more technical patterns and some short LNs as well. Both are still very consistent on that accuracy. Maybe I'm actually dropping a few 200s near someone on those short LNs. Got to be careful for some of those as well. You can't really just autopilot your way through it. But as we do kind of get into that outro, there's not really much left. There are just a few more short LNs, but just judging by the difference, unless someone misses and has a very dirty drop, I don't think there's going to be any difference.
Indeed, I think the point is going to be for bumk.
Yep. Actually, very similar ratio difference as well. It's just again bumk having having 12 less 200s and that less 100 as well. So it is going to be match point for bumk, which means Ben will have to pick wisely, and yes, he is going to go into his protect right 6, our 4-minute pure stamina map.
Indeed, or kind of bus pick.
Yep. And a popular map as well. Icy World, very known, kind of jump stream mapper, stamina mapper. A lot of fairly popular maps. You might have played We Love Lamp, Dominators, Cyber Inductance. Also can map some other stuff as well, some underrated gems, something like this.
And actually seeing this map in round of 16 of a kinda 5 digits tournament is kinda scary actually.
very scary. You're really gonna have to, you're really gonna have to be kind of on your A game for something like this. 225 BPM jump stream, definitely a big step up from what we've seen from AO Infinity. To see 99 of this will be extremely impressive.
Indeed, as this map is actually a bit harder than you can see in this pool. Probably maybe like more on the quarterfinals difficulty level. We often say that kind of maps like bosses and tiebreakers are the difficulty of the pools to come next.
You will be correct. So first half for this map is fairly calm. It's more bursty jump stream, so kind of stuff like this until we do get into more the second half where it's going to be pure more stamina based. Maybe MemeBen was kind of winning to tire out bumk in some of these to kind of jump into something like this, and it does show as well. Bumk kind of having a lot more stray 200s near here. Maybe this has been MemeBen's strategy all along to wait and tire out bumk a small bit.
I mean, for this kind of really long maps, it really depends on when you want to exhaust your opponent. While some people do want to pick the boss map earlier to exhaust him during the rest of the match, maybe some other prefer to wait to exhaust him at the end, maybe for a potential tiebreaker, we never know. Though, I mean, it does look like MemeBen has the lead in this map. So if we do see the next map, then we have to get a breakpoint on likely an hybrid buff, but it is too early to tell.
Bumk kind of fatiguing a bit, dropping down down underneath 99, getting a lot of late 200s. I mean, Ben holding onto that 99.6. And this is kind of at the point in the map where it's getting a lot more stamina heavy. We're going to be seeing a lot more of that jump stream. We're going to be seeing a lot more of that jump stream without more breaks. So as we've seen there. Both are still managing that full combo as well, which is still very impressive for this point.
Indeed, I do think bumk is actually trying to hold the combo. And as I say that, I was trying to say that it does try to get still the full combo, but get some act drops, but it does also get the first miss on this map.
But the thing is, after you get like the main difficulty at around that halfway point, you get a very long break as well, which just contain a few LNs. I do think MemeBen did drop slightly on some of those LNs, but with that accuracy difference right now, I don't think it matters. Even if MemeBen does kind of find a drop, I don't think it will matter right now unless it is a significant drop. And we're kind of getting into that last 8. Oh, MemeBen finding a drop on some of those LNs, speaking of which. But will it matter a lot though? Like, I do think the score difference will slightly close, but as long as MemeBen does kind of keep on to that consistency near the end, I think he will definitely take that point, especially if that bump did trade it back.
Though it is still quite unfortunate for MemeBen, especially if it does not miss until the ending of the map. That would have been a really good FC, but it does still miss here anyway, so that wouldn't matter here.
But still, you kind of have to admit, even like just getting a 98, just getting a 99, even a 98 on this map this early in is very impressive, especially just for these players, kind of around the mid seed, and makes me very interested as well to see what goes on later through.
$975K for MemeBen is quite impressive.
Indeed. So, we are now getting into our final pick of this match, where it will either be Bump does get their way into their second conditional, or we do see a tiebreaker. and it is going to be Hybrid 2 very reasonable.
Indeed, this is gonna be Saucy, which actually does
So-
match with the warm up we did see earlier. Saucy and 300 nuts per minute.
Saucy knots per minute. Oh my god. But yeah, here you go. Into our last pick before we do see tiebreaker, or if we do see victory from bumk. So about this map, again, especially a map like this after the onslaught of Rise 6, it's definitely kind of more of a cool. It definitely would be kind of more of a cooldown. It would definitely be more of a cooldown from Rise 6. The map is definitely a lot more autopilotable compared to what we've seen from the other LNs and hyperpicks. So it's probably just going to be more down to accuracy and combo.
Indeed. And this map is actually going to be the last standard pick of this match, as if bumk does win, this is over from MemeBen. If MemeBen does actually manage to take this point, we're actually gonna go to tiebreaker.
I'm going to be side reading tiebreaker. I don't think I've looked at the tiebreaker yet. I have looked at all the other maps. So we're just gonna have to see how this goes. And actually, MemeBen. Actually, no, never mind. Both players having that fairly consistent intro off the start off. But again, it is the intro. The releases are, I would say, fairly simple. And, you know, the Rise is, I would say, slightly technical. Again, it's more of an accuracy-oriented hybrid map. So, I would probably expect to see a double full combo from those.
Indeed. Those races are quite fully expect for someone, and MemeBen actually getting the first drop. So, as you say, there is a full combos. There is not actually for MemeBen.
Well, I guess I was wrong. So that's gonna be giving bumk the advantage. Again, a 3 minutes, fairly standard length map, I would say. A bit longer than usual, but you just kind of have to kind of work what you are on. Both players actually managing some of those density bursts really fine. It's just getting caught out by some of those 200s on some of the lands, which I do think they are playing the Rise spectacularly well.
Indeed, as we are halfway through the map, bumk still holding on to the full combo, and with that really good accuracy too. Though MemeBen is not very far, so I'm able to not get any mistake here.
I think why MemeBen's using that much accuracy is just definitely lots of those straight 200s. Actually, both players think that weird jump through really well. You can see a lot of straight 200s, and also that miss is not really going to be helping as well. You can see a lot of straight 200s more on MemeBen's side, which probably means more he's fairly comfortable hitting the initial note, but it's just more the releases that he does tend to struggle on a bit more. Well, now we are getting into the last eighth of the map with a 20k point difference and not much time left in the map. We're gonna have to see something very substantial to see a difference change. But just because how consistent this map is, I don't really think there will be any differences. It's not really bursty at all, it's just, again, consistency. So if you can just keep your cool for the last few notes, MemeBen finally at drop, it is going to be the final nail in the coffin for him. Which, unfortunately, that does mean we will have to be saying goodbye to him.
Indeed, though a really great match pulled off by both players, very interesting. We almost got to tiebreaker, but sadly for MemeBen, we're gonna have to say goodbye to him. A really great parkour though from him.
very good scores from both players overall, and they both played very well, especially for the first match of this round of 16 weekend. It was definitely very exciting to see. Very close as well, but it is just going to be, again, we're just going to have to be seeing one winner throughout, and it is going to be bumk for this. So they will be punching their way into their second conditional, where they will have their shot of making it to the quarterfinals of this bracket.
Indeed, and the thing is that this match was actually quite long, and I think we're supposed to commentate the next match right away, which is actually going on right now, I think. This is not a way
Yeah,